Hello all, and welcome to tonight's non-alcoholic beer review, which I'm going to dub the enjoyable afternoon gardening. So I spent much of the afternoon gardening, um, because my mom's going to be moving into a new place. So I got to enjoy being outdoors amongst plants again, and I realized how much I dearly miss that. Uh, but now with the big yard, I'm going to be able to do that again. So yeah. Gardening is not a chore for me. Gardening it's restorative. Same with taking care of animals. Anyways, what is a non-alcoholic beer that we're going to be reviewing this evening? Well, my dad gifted me 2 cans of Guinness non-alcoholic draft. And this isn't the zero point zero 0.01. It looks very similar to the 0.01. It's just a zero, but it's a traditional non-alcoholic, so zero point 0.5 or less alcohol. It has not been completely, all the alcohol has not been completely removed, so this is not a halal malt beverage. Sorry to disappoint all of my Muslim viewers. Why would there be a Muslim viewer of a beer and spirits review channel? I don't know. Anyways, let's go ahead and read the data on this a little bit here. So, serving size, 12 ounces, calories, 60, and yeah. So I've heard that this is one of the non-alcoholic beers that you cannot taste that difference in between alcoholic and non-alcoholic. I sincerely doubt that. And today we are going to find out if that is true or false. And then later, tomorrow, the second can, we're going to be doing a side-by-side comparison. But for now, let's just go and take a look at this by itself. And I can't really do a head comparison because I don't really drink Guinness Draught. I haven't in a few years. If I have a desire for an Irish Dry Stout, I usually go with Murphy's because I prefer the taste and experience of Murphy's over Guinness. I just find Murphy's a little bit more rich tasting, slightly sweeter, so that's why I tend to go for it. That said, Irish Dry Stouts aren't particularly a style I desire all that much often. I like it with Irish food, and I like it on St. Patrick's Day. But if I'm really going to go for an Irish beer, I usually go for an Irish red. But without much further ado, let's just go and pour this out. Okay. So this is nitrogenated, which means we do this like how they say to, in this manner. Yep, foam's going down. Though interestingly, the head seems to be settling a lot quicker than on the alcoholic version. Interestingly, there seems to be a bit more of a transition zone. Coloration is roughly the same, where the light's able to pass through. Sort of amber color, but otherwise more or less opaque. Foamy head, as per all nitrogenated beers. And like most nitrogenated beers, it doesn't really, the bouquet doesn't express anywhere near as much as a carbonated beer. Definitely notes of chocolate, cacao, some herbaceousness. And oddly, just a very slight, almost like spearmint note. I'm not sure where that's coming from. It's so weird. I'm almost like tempted But I did go and clean out this glass, so it's not the residue of anything else that was in there beforehand. But yeah, on the whole, smells slightly sweeter than Guinness Draught as I remember it. You know, more milk chocolate than dark chocolate. Okay, on to the palate now, shall we? While you can tell that it's non-alcoholic from the body, so Guinness Draught is, despite the dark color, is notoriously light in body. This is even lighter, so you can tell that it's non-alcoholic because it's lighter than even a light beer would be. But at the same time, there's absolutely zero of that sort of telltale boiled grain, molasses-like note that you would get from other non-alcoholics. Pretty much the mouthfeel is the only giveaway. There's some hop bitterness that combines with the malt bitterness in the mids, sort of slowly declines into the finish. Honestly, I think the hop bitterness makes more of a show than the malt bitterness does. Not much in the way of a top note while in the mouth. Just some light herbaceousness and that kind of odd spearminty note. What I mean is, it's not like that got like that mint bite, but it has like it's evocative. It's evocative of the plant side of spearmint. But none of that icy mintiness. Kind of hard to explain. Um, while I can't remember Guinness Draft well enough to say, yeah, this is, you know, very reminiscent of it, or this is not reminiscent of it at all. I'd have to say that, yes, this is detectably a non alcoholic beer, just by mouthfeel alone. None of the flavors really seem off. Um, is this the drinking experience I'm looking for? Not really. But that's partially because I don't really favor the Irish Dry Stout style all that much. It's good when you have like a thick stew. It really goes well with like thick stews, thick meaty stews. But it's just not something that I would just drink by itself. That said, if you're looking for a non-alcoholic beer that won't offend and is pretty easy to get, then yeah, this one might be the one that's up your alley. It is different from any other non-alcoholic beer that I've had. I've only had one other dark non-alcoholic beer, but that one, Black Butte Porter, non-alcoholic, definitely had more of a, you could tell, it had more of the flavor notes that gave it away as uh, a non-alcoholic beer. Yeah. So yeah, not my vibe, but it might be your vibe. I guess that's all she wrote. Guinness, zero, non-alcoholic draft. Thanks again to my dad for donating these 2 cans. And that, folks, is your non-alcoholic beer review for this evening. Cheers.